All right, good afternoon. I'm Maria Saporta, and I'm a freelance journalist.
Our 240,000 employees around generate more than $10 million.
I'd like to thank our supporting sponsor.
Give me a go coming out of the sock.
I want to thank all of you for coming in today and taking the time to hear me. This is an occasion that I always enjoy. But I do want to take a moment to deal with a little bit of business prior to getting into my prepared remarks. Because I started my morning obviously getting an update on the status of our city and making sure that our residents were safe and that the city was back up and moving again. But in my reading of the comments, and I certainly read a lot of them, I read something that really troubled me, and with my local press, I wanted to talk to you about in a direct fashion. There was a New York Times piece this morning that led by calling me unapologetic. And I want to take that on in a direct fashion with all of you. I think clearly the New York Times missed my appearance on Channel 2 studio on Wednesday night. And I don't know if I was fatigued, I hadn't been asleep in some time, or maybe I had imagined the things I said. So what I had my communications team do was to pull the tape of what I said, since I was being called unapologetic about what has happened in the city. So what I said without notes, without preparation, speaking from my heart, to Channel 2's reporter, Amy Napier-Viteri, as I walked into the WSB studio, is this. And this is a verbatim quote on what I said. I said that I am deeply sorry and regret terribly the pain and anguish that many people felt beginning Tuesday afternoon and well into Wednesday. 2 days have been, I simply could not let it be said that we did not learn from the snowstorm of 2011. The fact of the matter is we learned a great deal. The 2000 storm, 2011 started on a Sunday, dropped 4 to 5 inches of snow in our city, and our city was immobilized for 4 days because we had an NFL playoff game on that Saturday. And I remember there was a concern that they would have to move the playoff game. We learned from that experience. We went out, we purchased $2.5 million in sweat spreaders and snow plows, the most the city of Atlanta has ever had. We're going full steam to take on our infrastructure challenges in the city of Atlanta. I've said repeatedly that we have about a $900 million infrastructure backlog at least, and we need to do a better job of maintaining it. And because we were on our back for the last 4 years, facing the worst economy that had been seen in 80 years, we have not invested in our roads, bridges, sidewalks, and green spaces. And we're getting ready to do that right now. So Tom's going to lead the effort of identifying where are these problems, how can we do better, and then I'm going to go to you. I'm going to come to the press, and I'm going to make my case that we should invest between $150 million to $250 million to make Atlanta more beautiful. It's my intention to make the most significant above-the-ground investment that our city has seen in a very, very long time. And hopefully my successors will stay at dealing with this infrastructure challenge. Most of you in this room know that in year 1, we worked on passing pension reform. You all remember how tough that was and how contentious it was. But if we had not passed pension reform, we would not have been able to have had 4 balanced budgets and grown cash reserves from $7.4 million to $135 million today. And we would have had to have raised property taxes on our citizens. We did the opposite thing and took on a $1.5 billion problem. And we're bending the curve on that problem, and we're a healthier, stronger city as a result. I'm raising our infrastructure needs to a similar kind of challenge. Because if we don't deal with these roads, bridges, and sidewalks and green spaces, they're going to balloon to the exact same kind of problem that we face on the pension difficulties. So that's what I'm going to be dealing with and planning for on the next year. And I'm going to engage council so that we have an appropriate list and have the backing and support of council. As tough as the last week has been, today we had a terrific announcement that was not on the front page of the Atlanta Journal-Constitution because Governor Deal and I had all of that space. But unemployment in our region is down to 6.8%. That's the lowest unemployment number in more than 4 years, and it means that our city and our region is coming back. So unemployment is down, and real estate values are up. I think the real estate values for the end of last year total were up by more than 14 points across the region. And this is really, really important because for most folks, your home is the most valuable asset that you have. And folks who have invested in a home in the city of Atlanta, I owe it to them to work hard every single day to keep their neighborhood safe, to provide adequate fire protection, and to see those real estate values rise and rise and rise, because that's most people's nest egg. I also want you to know that the fiscal condition of the city of Atlanta is getting stronger and stronger every single day. Most recently, we received an unqualified audit by our auditors, KPMG, and every single fund in the city of Atlanta, the general fund, the water and sewer fund, and of course, the airport fund, have received ratings upgrade of some kind by the major rating agencies on our watch. I expect that to continue, and I expect to continue to add cash to the rainy day funds for the city of Atlanta. Although if the last few days haven't been rainy days, I don't know what is. We're also moving forward with a $6 billion master plan at Hartsfield-Jackson Airport. We will bring the master plan of $6 billion for Hartsfield-Jackson to a close, certainly by the end of June. Hartsfield-Jackson Airport is the biggest economic generator, not only for the city of Atlanta, but for the entire region and in the Southeast. And it gives us unmatched national and global connectivity, allowing people in the city of Atlanta to reach 80% of the nation's GDP in 2 hours or less. So we're going to continue to invest there. We're going to have a big public conversation about a new runway at Hartsfield-Jackson and also expanding more terminal and gate capability at Hartsfield-Jackson. So you will see that coming up. I am pleased to announce, I talked briefly with the Vice President on yesterday, it looks like our port, the deepening of the Port of Savannah, is moving in a positive direction through bipartisan work with Senator Isaacson, who I saw last evening, with Senator Chambliss, with the Vice President and the President of the United States, and Governor Deal. We've moved the deepening of the port faster in 3.5 years than we moved in the previous 10. So if you were asking where we are, I think we have the deepening of the port on the 35 or 30-yard line. We're not in the red zone yet, but we are in the water bill, which will allow the port to be fully funded, and the state has made the appropriate appropriations to begin deepening that port. And I know this subject gets boring for you all, and I know that you all thought I was crazy 4 years ago when I was talking about the Port of Savannah. But make no mistake, the Port of Savannah supports more than 100,000 jobs in the metropolitan Atlanta region, and it provides a nice layer of jobs. So if you really care about income inequality and issues like that, you ought to care about the ports of Savannah. There are union jobs involved. There are blue-collar jobs involved. There are coder jobs involved. There are white-collar jobs involved. There are loading jobs involved. There are trucking jobs involved. So I just want you to know, when you see me in Washington testifying in front of the Committee on Transportation, pushing for a 6-year reauthorization of the Surface Transportation Bill, going to see the people who are handling the water bill, and working on the appropriation process for the ports. I'm doing it because I care deeply about Savannah. I'm also doing it because I love Atlanta. And at the end of the day, folks want you to win for it. And the biggest program we can have for anybody is to help them get a job and to see this 6.8% unemployment number continue to drop. Deepening the Port of Savannah does that in a significant way. We will also recognize the city of Atlanta as one of the 35 most international cities in the world. I'm usually not pleased with being in the back of a list, but the number of American cities which are included on that list at all are very small. During my time in Davos, the city of Atlanta was acknowledged as one of the top 30s in the world for foreign direct investment. That means that people all around the globe see Atlanta as a safe haven for their capital, and that's something that makes all of us better and all of us stronger. Not many folks know it, but Marriott Marquis, where we are all of the time, was recently acquired by a sovereign wealth fund. So it's no longer owned by a domestic business in the United States. These kind of investments send a signal to the world. But they're also a reason why I and all of the elected officials who are responsible for leading the region can't allow another snowstorm 2014 to happen. Because when that happens, no matter what region is responsible, no matter what leader is responsible, it weakens all of us. I want you to know that I understand that in no uncertain fashion. But I also want you to know that over the last 4 years, we have moved far and fast together. And over the next 4 years, as we come out of the worst economy in 80 years, we are going to move far and faster together. I also want you to know that I'm ready to go. I'm not tired at all. I look forward to working with my partners on the Atlanta City Council because, as I always say, we're just getting started, Atlanta. We'll get through these last few days, and we will show America and the United States that we will learn these lessons, that we will get stronger, and that we will assume our appropriate position as the dominant economy in the Southeast. One of the things that I was glad that they got, about the only thing I was happy about the weather coverage, was that they kept saying that this is the 9th largest metropolitan area in America. I was like, man, I had to get snowed on to have that. It says something about you. Georgia is the 10th biggest state in the union. You have the 9th largest metro in America. And if put together, the metropolitan Atlanta area has a GDP of about $295 billion. It's bigger than 28 states in the union. So I'll take my heat, take my licks for the things that happened over the last few days. Let's not get it twisted. The city of Atlanta and this metro is a very special place. We will adjust. We understand the effects of climate change. And so I'm not going to rely on the fact that it'll be another 10 years before a terrible snow event. The deal has changed forever. And I believe that it is largely because of the results of climate change. So I think the weather patterns are going to change. I think we're going to see more snow, more severe weather events. I've gotten the message loud and clear. And I'm going to act like it and do something about it. God bless you. Thank you for letting me be your leader.